Imagine that tonight you go to bed and realize you will never be able to fall asleep again. At first, it seems like a gift. After all, a person spends nearly a third of their life asleep. But there is one problem. Within a few months, the world without sleep will begin to fall apart faster than you can imagine. You lie down, you close your eyes, and you realize you have no desire to sleep. None at all. No yawning, no fatigue, no urge to lie down just for 5 minutes. You lie there for an hour, 2, 3, and you understand your body no longer needs sleep. At first you think, excellent. If we live to 75, we spend roughly 25 of those years simply sleeping. Imagine you've suddenly been given an extra 25 years of life. You could learn 3 languages, read 1,000 books, master a new profession, and finally accomplish everything you never had time for before. It sounds like the perfect upgrade for humanity. But just a few days pass and strange things begin to happen. The first changes appear in the cities. Night used to be the time when the world slowed down. Streets grew empty, offices closed, millions of people retreated to rest all at once. Now, none of that exists. People are awake around the clock. Shops are open through the night. Cafes are overflowing. Gyms are packed with people at 3 in the morning. Cities never sleep again. At first, it seems convenient, but there is one problem. If people don't sleep, why should they work only 8 hours? Very quickly, employers start doing the math. Before, an employee slept for roughly 8 hours. Now those hours are free, and a logical question arises. Why not work 12 hours? Or 14? Or even 16? After all, there is no fatigue anymore. Gradually, a new norm begins to spread. The workday stretches, competition intensifies. If one person works 8 hours and another works 14, guess whom the employer will choose? Within a few years, people realize they didn't gain extra free time, they gained extra work. There's another unexpected problem. Sleep is not simply rest. During sleep, the brain does enormous work. It sorts through memories. It cleanses itself of toxins. It processes emotions. Without sleep, all of this begins to break down. Yes, people feel no tiredness, but gradually the brain becomes overloaded with information. Imagine a computer that has been running for months without restarting. At some point, it begins to slow down, freeze, glitch. The same thing happens to people. Memory deteriorates, concentration drops, emotions grow unstable. People become more irritable, more quarrelsome, more prone to mistakes. And gradually, the world becomes a little unhinged. But the greenest problem emerges several decades later. People used to spend a third of their lives asleep. Now they do not, which means humanity has become far more productive. We build more homes, extract more resources, produce more food. But there is one thing that cannot be expanded: the planet. Our numbers keep growing. Cities sprawl ever outward. Nature disappears faster than before. And governments begin to discuss strange ideas. Restrictions on having children, new rules for urban living, strict laws governing the distribution of resources. The world begins to change, and not always for the better. There is one more unexpected effect. People begin to grow bored. Yes, they have more time, but it turns out the human brain does not know how to live without a pause. Sleep was not only rest, it was a boundary between days. It divided life into chapters. The day ended, the brain closed one chapter and began a new one. Without sleep, the days start to blur together. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there is almost no difference. Life becomes an endless ribbon of time. and many people begin to feel a strange emptiness. And then something unexpected happens. Some people begin to artificially imitate sleep. They turn off the lights, lie down in bed, switch off their phones, simply to take a pause. Special rest clubs appear, rooms of silence, centers for deep reset. People pay money to do nothing for a few hours. And gradually it becomes clear. Sleep was not a flaw in the human body. It was an essential part of life. At the beginning of this story, it seemed that humanity had received a gift: extra time, more opportunities, greater productivity. But in time, people come to understand something strange. Sleep was not a loss of time. It was a protection against overload. It forced us to stop, to rest, to begin each new day with a clear mind. And perhaps it is precisely because of this that humanity managed to preserve its sanity. So the next time you lie down to sleep and think, "Oh, there go another 8 hours of my life," remember one thought. Perhaps sleep is not what takes time away from us, but what makes our lives possible. And what do you think? What would be the most terrifying thing about a world without sleep?